While India is suffering from severe second wave of corona, I'm going to discuss some interesting political developments in Indian neighborhood. Today, I'm going to discuss the political developments that's happening in Pakistan. So we know Pakistan has a long history of political instability propped up by something military establishment or the political classes to support their own Western interests. But today we are seeing the fallout of using religion to support their political causes. Let me be clear. So we have seen the blasphemous law or the law regarding the blasphemy in Pakistan has been a sore point in the Pakistani polity. And whenever there is an argument, counter argument in Pakistan public space about this issue, the bigoted Barelwi Sunnis are coming forward to outrightly denounce the political establishments, and they go on a violent spree for days to get their demands approved by the government. So today the same situation we can see across the country. So what is actually happening in the country? So here we can see that after the killing of Samuel Paty, the high school professor teacher in France, who showed the cartoon of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which and seemingly denigrate the stature of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he was killed. The Samuel Paty was killed in France by one Muslim immigrant in France. And after this, a lot of protests happened, or a lot of protests came in various parts of the world and across the globe, we can say. And then, as part of Muslims' emotional outbursts against purported denigration of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Pakistan was also in the vanguard in opposing the Islamophobic narratives coming from France. Here we have to go back into the history and then study what is the blasphemy law in Pakistan, and what is the the clamor that's increased in debate in Pakistan, and what is the real threat of this argument which is being raised by various right-wing Muslim parties in Pakistan. Now, let me tell you, I'm taking you back into Salman Taseer and the beleaguered Sindh and mayor who was assassinated by one of his bodyguard named Abdul Qayyum. He was assassinated for supporting the case of Asia Bibi, a Christian who was accused of blasphemy in an acrimony that took place between she and one of her neighborhood. And then Salman Taseer was one of the prominent politicians who supported the Asia Bibi against the blasphemy law, and he was killed. And after this killing of Salman Taseer, the political landscape of the Pakistan underwent a lot of changes, and one of the major changes was a lot of right-wing Sunni organizations came forward and they vied for political space in Pakistan. And one of the party, and that party is in news, and I'm going to discuss about that party today. And one of the parties, TLP, Pakistan and Tehreek-e-Labbaik Ya Rasulullah party, and that name, the moniker may seem strange to you, but that is maybe some kind of misnomer, but it is called TLP in Pakistan politics. And it was led by our brand leader Qazi Rizvi, and he started from a minuscule gathering and went on to amass a huge support base, which went on to install the Islamabad, Rawalpindi, and other major cities in the Pakistan. And this right-wing Barelwi outfit started to grow in prominence, and they used various kind of lobby powers and violent tactics to get their demands approved by the government. And then if we go back to the last General Assembly election in which Imran Khan got elected, we can see the 5% of the total voting, 5% of the total vote that went to the kitty of this TLP party. And this incident shows the prominence of this party across the political spectrum of Pakistan. Now, what is the story? And after this, Samuel Paty denigrated or purportedly denigrated or hurted the Muslim sentiments by showing the cartoon of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. There was a huge protest across the Pakistan, and they demanded they demanded the ouster of French ambassador from Pakistan. No, the domestic issues are the domestic issues compelled these TLP supporters and the leaders to demand the ouster of French envoy from Pakistan. No, it has a huge international importance because more than half of the textile products of the Pakistan is being exported to the France. And in the event, if the envoy is expelled from Pakistan, it will have huge implication or a huge impact on the overall and faltering economy of Pakistan. Now, after a lot of protests in and around the arterial cities of Pakistan, and then government have to bow down. Government under the Imran Khan had to bow down. And here some curious thing happened. And in the meanwhile, when the military establishment and the democratic elected Imran Khan government realized that this danger is growing day by day and it's blowing out of proportion, they tried to rein in this organization, but it was no use because this organization, Tehreek al-Labbaik Ya Rasulullah party, was successful in radicalizing the fringe elements in the Pakistani society who were on, we can say, on the wane after the Taliban got dismantled in Afghanistan. And this Qazi Rizvi under the Tehreek al-Labbaik Ya Rasulullah party was successful enough to mobilize these people. And then the government had a tough time because all the arterial roads to the Islamabad was put under the siege by the militant Barelwi groups, and then government went on back foot and invited them for discussion. And after a lot of bargaining, the Imran Khan government they agreed to put this proposal in the parliament to the vote, and then it will be decided by the parliament. But the February was the deadline fixed by the Imran Khan government to get rid of this issue and then expel the envoy from the Pakistan. But when Qazi Rizvi saw the Pakistani government is not ready to respect or the honor the deadline, they went on a violence spree, and that had very severe impact on the economy. Now we have to understand that we are getting very bad news about the health of the Pakistani economy in the recent time. So in the recent time, we are getting very bad news about the faltering health of the Pakistani economy. That means the fiscal deficit of the budget is more than 20% of the total GDP, and then the BOP, that means balance of payment crisis, is severe. And even the IMF, International Monetary Fund, refused to allot loan to the Pakistan unless they are ready to honor some tax slash measures, which is highly unpopular in the global. We have seen the situation in Greece again. So in Greece, when the government went on this tax slashing measures to prop up the measures by the IMF, there were huge backlash from the people. So now and then China had to go to the Pakistan had to go to the China to get the financial the much needed financial requirements, and even the Saudi Arabia, UAE, these allies which are known to be the historical backbones of the Pakistani economy, refused to help the Pakistani economy. So in this situation, in the context, if the French envoy is compelled to go back from the Pakistan, it will have a severe blow to the faltering health of the Pak economy. And then there was wide consultation with various stakeholders of the society, and then this led to and then this, as a culmination of this bargaining process by TLP and the Pakistan, the Imran government finally put the resolution in the parliament, and now the parliament discussion is going on. But something that's very peculiar to note here, that this TLP party, which was supported by the military and which was used by the military for their ulterior motives, is standing as a scourge for the Pakistani establishment, eating into the secular credentials, eating into their financial security, and then putting a Damocles sword on the democratic practices of the Pakistan. So why the story is relevant today? Because in India, the same situation we can see when the Indian politics is on the churn and the Hindutva forces are on the rise. We can see the government is drooping their chin into the winds and fancies of the right-wing Hindutva group, and this will have very bad impact on the economy, and not only on the economy and the democratic practice of the society. So after now what happened when the military establishment and the political leadership of the Pakistan understood this is going out of the hand, and and at the first they were reluctant to take severe actions against this TLP, but they were compelled to do at the last. But it was of no avail, because this movement had reached such a momentum from where it has no retreat. And then this is the story. Now we are eagerly waiting what will be the next step in the Pakistan, what it may be. India has to understand from the fallout of using religion for the political purposes in the Pakistan, and thus if the current dispensation is bowing to the right-wing agendas of RSS, and it will have very bad effect on the democratic practice of the country, and it will endanger, jeopardize the political system of the country. So let's see what will be the next what will happen in this series, and I'll be posting more videos. So keep updated and comment and share if you like. Okay, thank you.